Mr. Wood came by after lunch. He was heading back to Ann Arbor now that the storm had passed. But he wanted to take a last look at the Daniel. As he and Hester stood talking quietly in the cellar room, Mr. Wood asked, "Are you sure you want him here?" Hester glanced over at the man in question, lying asleep on the cot. The Black Daniel was one of the most successful conductors on the line. He needed the refuge she provided so he could recover and resume his work. B says he should be well enough to travel in a week or so. I think he'll be safe enough here until then. She sensed her old friend had his doubts, but he offered no further arguments. "Don't worry," she told him, draping an arm around his waist and giving him an affectionate squeeze. "If anything happens, I'll let Hubble know. Now you get on back to your family, and I'll see you on the next trip." He kissed her cheek, gave her a hug of his own, and was gone.
"Can he be trusted?"
Hester whirled at the unexpected question from the man on the cot. How long had he been awake and listening? "I see you're awake." She came over and placed a palm against his forehead. His skin still felt too warm. Yes, he can be trusted. She thought the question absolutely ridiculous considering all Mr. Wood had done for him last night. In fact, were I you, I'd say a prayer for him.
"If you were me, you'd know I never pray."
His words struck her like a slap. He had not a whit of apology for his battered face, and again Hester wondered if she'd been wise to take this man in. Surely he believed in a higher being. "Do you think you can eat something?" she asked frostily.
"Long as I don't have to pray to get it."
Hester left without a word. For the next 2 days, Hester gave the Black Daniel a fairly wide berth. She saw to his medical needs and brought him meals, but his surly mood kept her at arm's length. She spent most of her time getting the guest family ready to move on. She procured winter clothing from the pastor at the church, along with a small donation of cash from the congregation. The family had decided to settle in Ontario, so Hester sent word to contacts there to expect their arrival. Hester also made discreet inquiries about strangers in the area. Most of her immediate neighbors knew about Hester's conducting, either because of their friendship with her late aunt or because they had traveled on the road themselves. They all knew whom Hester meant as strangers, slave catchers. And yes, some men had been seen as recently as yesterday in Detroit, less than 30 miles away. By the questions the strangers were asking, their dress and speech, slave catchers were all they could be. Word had it they were hunting the Black Daniel. Hester thought about the news as she drove her 2-horse team home from the church service. The very idea that the Black Daniel could possibly be in the area filled the congregation with excitement. Many speculated on his whereabouts, while a few publicly stated they didn't believe the Black Daniel actually existed. Hester, of course, knew differently. He existed all right, and she had yet to meet a more sullen or rude individual in all her 24 years. Giving credence to her point, he lit into Hester the moment she entered the room.
"Where have you been?"
Having just come from church, Hester was determined not to be provoked by his temper. She set down the tray holding his evening meal on the edge of the cot. "I'm pleased you missed my company. I was at church. Today is Sunday." He made a rude noise in reply, and Hester skewered him with a look that dared him to comment further. He didn't, though she doubted his silence had anything to do with him being intimidated by her glare. He didn't impress her as the type easily intimidated by anyone, male, female, black or white. He told her, "I'd appreciate